Good morning! Hello, BC Wendell. Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I have streamed over on YouTube because, reasons. But we're gonna be changing some things. I realize I have some stuff I'm gonna need to fix before next time. But, hi, how y'all doing today? I am an EP duck. I'm very much an EP duck. I got like 5 hours of sleep this morning, if that. But I wanted to make sure I could actually like test stuff out today. This is very much like a test thing, making sure everything's kind of worked out because stuff happens. That's what happens when you do the streaming thing. But I figured a good way to test things would be to do like a kind of simple stream today. Give me a second here. I'm gonna actually change my clothes. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, you could probably tell I'm waking up here. I'm very much still very tired, but I'm here nonetheless. Today we're gonna be actually doing like a little mini like tutorial kind of thing. Just a small thing. Since, like the last few years I have learned a lot when it comes to doing Live2D stuff. We actually got some art from our good friend Zyrite. And so I'm gonna be doing a little bit of setup today for that model. Good morning, Zyrite. Good morning, good morning. I'm sorry, I'm still very, very out of it. Yeah, it's a pumpkin kitty. And we'll get to see it here in a moment here, because I gotta remember how things work, how things function. Let me go ahead over here. And I realize I really need to set up where, how do you say, I just pop over here with this model. I realize I have not done that. I'm doing pretty good. I'm just a bit EP. I'm doing pretty good, BC. I'm just very EP today because I need more sleep. But yeah, this is a kitty that we're gonna be working with. And so I just need to adjust myself in my chair here because posture is everything. Also, I have to kind of move my tablet so it's not conflicting with my mic here. Where the duck did my pen go? Let me see. I gotta. Oh, you know what? I'm like, wait, where's chat? Where'd chat go? I don't know what I'm doing. You could not tell that I woke up, totally a little bit ago and have been a streamer for years now. Chat loved you too slow. Oh no. How to format for Live2D. Yeah, it takes time to understand it. Specifically today, what I'm going to be showing y'all is how exactly we do inverted masks. So, what an inverted mask is, let's just get the definition out of the way, which I should have prepared, like, some stuff to, like, pop up on screen, but I did not, because I did not think that far ahead. I'd like this to be kind of like a mini tutorial for all the Live2D artists out there. What an inverted mask is it's an area. Usually you just make it a solid layer, right? And what you do is you use it as an invisible layer. Kind of like a shader, if you will. And what you use it for is you'll actually have things on the model clip to it invertedly. So, for example, if you look at my eyes, let me actually go ahead and pull up my own, let me go find my, my model file for this, because I think it might be helpful to kind of demonstrate before we even begin, because you can already see how my model's like looking if I close my eyes. So if I come over here, actually I don't know that I even, yeah, I don't even think I did it here, but you know what, how about yeah, I don't think I have any good examples I could just pop up. So basically, when things cross over it that you want to be hiding, they turn invisible. So what we're actually going to be doing here, which I don't think this layer actually has anything on it. I don't see anything on this layer. So I'm going to actually just drop it in here. I'm going to call this inverted masks. And just for Live2D sake, I'm actually going to be using some, oh, that's not where I wanted that. That is not where, you know what, I'm gonna put that here. Okay. We're putting it on the folder. I'm gonna call this ruler to make things easier for dividing up. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the symmetry tool, and then I'm gonna kind of cut things to a new layer. So we're going to turn on the grid. We're going to make sure that the grid is centered. This makes it so it's a lot, you know, harder to mess up the middle divide. Although I'm not actually sure if the model is centered on the canvas here. Let me see. And if it is, it might have like an awkward, yeah, I think it's like, I need to subdivide this more. There we go. Now it's perfect in the middle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this as our guide. We're gonna kind of line up our pen here perfectly, or as perfect as we're going to get. Yeah, centering is not easy. So looks about right. What we're gonna be doing actually is we are now going to make the inverted mask. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, we're going to show the ruler in all the layers in the folder. We're going to make a new layer. I'm gonna call this inverted underscore I underscore masks. Looks like once you attempt it, you can learn how frustrating it can be. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out like a methodology for perfectly centering the symmetry ruler. Was I right? Like, as you could see, I literally use a grid because then I can line it up with the very center of it. It makes it so much easier. Now, it's important to note that you have to make sure that when you use the ruler/grid settings, that you set it as center, because the default option is going to be top. Or left, actually. Yeah, top left. So that's not centered, and so you have to actually go in and center it. But once you do that, it's a lot better. So here's what we are going to do now. I also realized I could just literally pop out my chat to make it a little bit easier on me instead of like trying to having to go between OBS and my work. So we're gonna first start. Ah! Hello, Mika. Good morning. It's good to see you. How you doing, Mika? I'm kind of tired. I'm very eepy. I've been, oh, there's a wild Puku-Muku in chat. You could try to catch it using !PokeCatch if you're on Twitch. But yeah, it's good to hear, you know. It's !PokeCatch. Yeah, for anyone not on the Twitch side, we have a Pokemon community game. It's quite fun to collect them all, you know. If you like Pokemon, which I do. I mean, I'm sure you couldn't tell with my Legends Arceus themed background here. I spent a good amount of time drawing that thing. it really was just a lot of work. I am not really a painter. I'm more of a doodler. Well, yeah, we're doing inverted masks because we're gonna make things turn invisible on command. Right now, doodling Digimon. I mean, that's fair. You know, ain't nothing wrong with Digimon. What happened to my mouth? I can't speak today. It's like my duck bill is malfunctioning. Which, by the way, anyone over, you know, on the other side of things, if anything is weird or wonky, I am so sorry. Everything is scuffed today. That's just how things go. I haven't had like an experimental stream like this in a while, so yeah. Your bell has a mind of its own. I mean, yeah, at times. Definitely. But don't tell it that. Anyway. So the way this works, we're actually going to come in here. And we're going to very carefully, very, very carefully, effectively, like, come in here. Refer other layers. We're gonna kinda, oh, that is not what I wanted. Nope. You know what? Let me find the eye here. I'm gonna use a different thing because there's so much going on here. It's a little bit hard for me to just auto select. Let me just go. Okay. So what we're actually gonna go and do, refer to layer only to select. We're going to go ahead and do, wait, is that the same? Yeah. Oh, I see what it is. It's because the ruler isn't in here. Yes, that would help. That would definitely help. Okay, so now we can see the ruler again. We can actually also turn off the grid for now so we can see a little bit easier. It's a little bit hard to see. So what we're gonna do is... I have a feeling that it did not want to work for me. Yeah, no, it did not. Okay. We are trying... Wait a second. Which one is this? Okay. I feel like it doesn't want me to select both at the same time. Also, I think somewhere along the lines it messed up the coloring, so I'm going to fix that. What happened? Something happened here. I don't know what either. It could not have been like this when I... See, this is what I'm talking about with scuff. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure those were supposed to be about identical. Or maybe not. Maybe they are a little bit different. Was that the intention, Zyrite? I feel like something got a little changed. I feel like this was supposed to be identical to this side, but if you look here, it looks like the gradient kind of cut off. I can't remember if I messed with this. Okay, so you did not intend for that to happen, so here's what we're gonna do to fix this. Gonna go ahead back in here, make this 50 again. Okay. So, I will say this, I do recommend when you are making like Live2D model stuff that you actually organize things in folders, because that just makes things so much easier. Because when you're trying to find things, you're not going, okay, where the duck is it? Even for simpler models, because you can literally organize it into like eyes, head, ears. Even on my own model, I did that. So we'll go ahead and mirror it. Yeah, labeling is important, although I do recommend when you label that you use something like snake case or what's the other one? I can't remember what it's called, but either way, like where it's not having any spaces. So I'm gonna call this F_eyes to kind of represent the eyes. Now the reason for that is because otherwise when you import it into Live2D, I have to go through and rename everything. I learned that the hard way, and the reason why it's important to name it in the first place is because even though you could use ArtMesh26 as your ID for your art layer, when you're trying to, if you want to have any level of like usability and manipulation of the model after it's been exported into VTube Studio, you're not going to really be able to know what is ArtMesh27, what is ArtMesh52. Okay, are we talking about one of the highlights in the eyes? Or are we talking about the iris itself? Are we talking about the sclera? You know. So we're gonna just pop these in here. I'm gonna try to do it in order. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge deal. It's something I've more just talked about on stream, honestly. So we know that the right eye is fine. But we want this eye to look the same, so... Okay... This is technically over here. So I'm gonna split this as R_I... or actually F_R, because F meaning like folder. Yeah, so this is gonna be R_I_base. Okay. So that would be lower_R_IHL, just for abbreviating sake. And this is also kind of like a little bit of like a mini tutorial on like how you should name things more efficiently for Live2D stuff. Well, this is the upper R_I_HL. I did not mean to put a hyphen there. Okay. So what we can do over here, I'm actually going to go ahead and throw this into a folder real quick. I'm not even going to bother naming because we're going to kind of redo some stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that, right? I'm going to move the RI over the LI. And the reason for this is because what we're actually going to do to make our lives so much easier is we're going to just copy, paste. Wait a second. Let me fix this. So wait, where did... Oh, I see. Okay. I need to get better actually organizing things. I did not mean to put that there. Wait, no, I actually meant to put these in there. There we go. So, we're gonna copy, paste. We're gonna come up here to transform, flip horizontal. Now from here, oh wait, cancel. From here, we literally just hold shift. Ignore that. And now it's actually perfectly horizontal across. So it's like perfectly horizontally across. So we're gonna call this L now. Because we literally just copied that. So we're gonna go ahead and delete that now. We now have a perfectly symmetrical eye. In theory, if the original one was symmetrically placed. We'll find out in Live2D, I'm sure. Because when you flip things in Live2D, it's pretty, I mean, we probably won't because we're going to use the inverted mask method anyway. So it's not that big of a deal. But yeah. Don't mind the yawns. I swear to ducking God, I'm not cute. I am a professional duck. Yeah, I know you will. Like, you already patched the ear thing when I was like, yeah, I feel like this is not gonna quite meld with what we want. Also, typically speaking, I'm saying typically, this is not the hard and fast rule. But if you are going to be doing lip lines, ever, like, when you want to, like, make them, like, movable and stuff, I do not recommend having them already pre-deformed, as you see here. Now, here's the reason why I did not tell you to change that in this particular case, Zyrite. In this particular case, I figured this is supposed to be a very specific kind of mouth. We're not trying to go full V-Bridger here, so it's fine. But typically, like, if you're gonna do a mouth on a model, you generally want to have straight lines, or pretty close to it, and have it, like, already, like, in the closed position. That way it can be formed with the actual mouth opening. In this case, it's fine. It's totally cool. I can work with that, no problem, because what I plan to do is basically take this down here, and yeah, it is definitely a mascot, I will say that, which is why I'm not so concerned about that. It was more, we just needed the bottom lip so that I could actually pull the inverted mask we're going to be making over it, because that's going to be kind of an important point. The really important thing is that your mask matches the lip so that you can effectively just move it around however you need, and you'll never have any gaps or holes besides, you know, the mouth hole. Am I allowed to say that? Is that TOS? Sounds weird to say. It sounds wrong even if it's not TOS. Mouth hole. It's something about that phrase just sounds wrong. What am I this morning? I do not know. So, now we have our eyes kind of set up. We're gonna go through here again, and we're gonna go ahead and make our inverted mask stuff. So, I'm gonna kind of come up here. We're gonna turn this again into the roller, not e-roller, roller layer, and we're gonna go ahead and throw that in here. Masks is what I'm gonna call that. Now this ruler, because this is a Photoshop file, will be just temporarily symmetrical, because I have found it just disappears when you're no longer using it and you've saved it. Also, there's a wild Wilmer in Twitch chat. If you want to type !PokeCatch, you can try to catch it. So we're gonna go over here. Gonna go ahead and make that show in same layer. And we're gonna actually be using a really, really bright color in order to make sure that this stands out to us. So going back over to the eyes, right, we're going to actually be selecting these Okay, only wants me to select one at once, it looks like. Because it's being a butt. Edit, undo. Okay. So you know what? Because we're supposed to be symmetrical anyway, this should be fine. So what we're gonna do is we're actually... we really should be able to select both. Because I have this as additive. Okay, there we go. So the reason why we select this is because we're actually going to invert the selected area. Oh, you need to buy some more Pokeballs. So, let me see here. I'm gonna zoom in and make sure that our selection is accurate. It looks a little bit off. So I'm gonna just bump it out 1 pixel using a rounded expansion type, because that's gonna actually more like perfectly encompass what we want. Actually, that's a little too much. I feel like the 1 is perfect, because I think the outside I'm seeing is just like the overlay of the actual like shading. So here's what we do. I'm gonna go ahead here on this layer, inverted eye masks. I feel like we took forever just to get to this point with all the stuff we already had earlier. We're gonna make sure that this is kind of like a less of a strong anti-aliasing here. And we're gonna kind of make a rough mask. And then we're gonna end up splitting it anyway down the middle, because we're gonna be splitting it per layer. And this might seem a little... Let me invert. There we go. We inverted. So now we just need to come in here This does not need to be perfect, but it needs to cover a very wide area. And we'll be kind of cleaning up the mask itself in Live2D. But for now, this definitely works. I'm gonna kind of clean the edges here because... Oh. Give me a second here. I have to write down this song because I'm like, wait a second. I've been wanting to find this specific one, and I haven't been able to for a long time because I forgot what it was, and now I remember. It's Spring Yard Zone. I was like, I want that in my playlist. Sorry, ADHD this morning. I'm sure you could probably tell. Heh. Heh. So yeah. And now that we have that part done, we're gonna unselect. We're gonna actually go over back here. We're gonna expand this a little bit, because what we're gonna do now is basically just... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Wrong one! There we go. Perfect. And we can test that just by reselecting it again. Perfect. Yeah. And that works. Okay. Now we're going to cut these. And it's really self-explanatory for cutting, but I'm going to kind of explain it anyway. So we're gonna turn off the ruler. That way we are only cutting one side. Gonna come over here. Gonna control X. And then control V. This is now going to be... Actually, I realize I skipped a step. Let's not do that yet. Okay. We skipped this step. So we're actually gonna come back over here to the refer editing layers only, because we have to reselect the eyes. The eye bases. I forgot about this step. You could tell how tired I am. Eepy duck. Gosh, I hate this. Edit undo. R. L. There we go. That works. So we come back up here to the inverted masks. Turn it on. Voila. Okay. Okay. We did it. We did it. Good morning, Musi. Good morning. I'm showing how inverted masks work as scuff as today is. I hope you're doing well. I am very out of it, very tired. I only got like 5 hours of sleep. But I wanted to do the experimental thing today. So I'm basically doing kind of like a mini tutorial, but also strawman. I'm hanging in there, yeah. Well, that's good. I hope you've been having fun with your new model. Well, new model updates, because you already had the model like a while ago, but now you have better head movement, yeah. Yeah, and also the recent update from the scuff, because somehow, someway, the tears on the sad toggle wanted to escape you. And me. I was like, why the duck are they over? Why? 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 But that's just what happens, I guess, with Live2D sometimes. There's some wild things that can happen with Live2D. I still don't know how some things happen. Eepy duck. So what we're gonna do now, that we've actually properly cut this out, is come over here, Control X, Control V. Gonna rename this to L, inverted mask. The other one's gonna be R, inverted eye mask. Okay. Because here's what we're going to be doing, is we're actually going to be, when we're in Live2D, we're going to be taking these, meshing these very specifically, and we're going to glue the mask to itself, so we have super fine control over an eye blink. It sounds convoluted. It's not as convoluted as it sounds. Glue is your friend, even though I am terrified of it most of the time. I know that our good friend Ollie and Ashford could tell you about my my glue saga, the tongue glue saga. That was a lot. So we got that part of the mask done. I'm gonna actually kind of make a separate folder as I go to kind of group up everything. Leaves. So I'm gonna kind of do one of these. I'm gonna make the whiskers in their own folder. Whiskers. Also, we don't need the grid anymore. Save. All the whiskers are gonna go in here. I do really love the whiskers, like how they're like basically levitating off. Also, I realized that with the eye mask there, it looks kind of like either a hero or a villain. Like a superhero mask. That was not the intention, but that's kind of how it ends up looking. Which, on that note, for the mouth, we're going to use a little bit different of a brightly colored thing just because it makes it easier visually to see. I think I'm going to go with kind of like a pinky orange color. Because that's super vibrant. Right now I'm paranoid if I align things right. I mean, you're going to learn over time. It's fine. You have really good art, you just have to learn how to, I guess intuitively understand where things are, but that comes with practice, right? Because, like, look at me, okay? The first model that I did, and, let me tell you, chat, the first model that I did is not symmetrical in the slightest, and I'm not even talking about, oh, you know, I have asymmetrical hair. No, I'm talking, even the duck bill. Okay, even the duck bill is not symmetrical. So, like, I've been there. It's definitely easier now that I've had a lot of practice. Like, this particular VTuber model that I'm using, the chibi duck here, this one was a freaking masterpiece for me at the time. I didn't think I could actually manage the whole symmetrical thing. In fact, even on my head angles and stuff, I'm still not quite symmetrical. But it's way better than it was when I started. It's something that you just kind of understand as you improve. And it's okay to have imperfections, okay? This is a scuff stream, okay? There's gonna be imperfections, and honestly, most of them are gonna be hidden by the time we're done anyway, so it's not really a big deal, you know? It's as I told you, you know, the first model attempt that you did had a lot of problems with the cutting, which is why I mentioned, like, if you want to go back and cut it, you, like, redo that part of it, then you totally can. I can still rig it. I had started the cutting process, but then ADHD happened, because it's still really good art. Like, your art is really just, honestly, top-notch for mascot stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Is more just learning how things are supposed to be cut. Like, you didn't intuitively understand how the ear should be cut here, so I had to explain it to you. But, I mean, if you don't do Live2D yourself, you don't really know those things intuitively. I remember an incident recently where it was kind of difficult to explain how holes happen with a model. If you don't have certain layers that you would not normally see. Like, you have to have things that are not seen actually be drawn, and it's a whole thing. Yeah, Musy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because you don't realize it until you're actually, like, in the thick of it. Like, we kind of need this really super important layer that we didn't even think about to begin with. Yeah, I didn't want to call your model out, but it happened. But, you know, it was fixed in the end. So that's the important part. The really nice thing about Live2D, if you are a Live2D artist, is you can literally just add things as you need them. The perk about having the artists in the same area helps. Yes, very much so. Also, later on, I need to remember to VIP Musy, because I realize I have not updated my VIPs in a long time, like a long ducking time. And I really need to, because I have a few people I want to add. Also, there's a wild grubbin in Twitch chat. If you want to type ! Pokecat, you can try to catch it as long as you have a Pokeball. But yeah, being able to just walk downstairs and talk to the Live2D rigging artist in question definitely helps. More so than going, we have to, like, talk between an in-between. I'm also going to color label these, because even though this is a Photoshop file, it just makes it easier when I'm actively working to know what I'm looking at, especially when I'm, like, freshly organizing things. I do think, honestly, though, this is Super cute. Ignore the eye masks there, but I want to make this thing roll about. We're gonna roll to the right, we're gonna roll to the left, we're gonna do like, you know, backwards and forwards thing, kind of like the body lean that Musy has. We're gonna have that. I kind of want to have it where like the kitty cat can kind of poke down and then poke back up out. There's a lot of things. I know some layers are there that aren't used for anything, and mostly because I didn't organize this well enough to see them. Yeah, that's kind of why I like folder organization. It also makes it super easy in Live2D itself if you organize in folders. Because when you're trying to make a warp deformer, for example, one of the things that it pops up with is it asks you like what the destination part is, and normally you just kind of go with the default option. And if you don't have a folder that matches the destination, like the area you want it to be, you end up with just a cluster duck of warp deformers mixing with folders, or rather not with folders. I'm just out in the open, totally exposed, and you don't have any real organizational structure. So when you're trying to find a very specific layer or very specific warp, it's like, what the duck? Where is it? Where is it? Where are you? What happened? That's kind of like when I was looking at my Live2D file for my chibi model. I was like, who rigged this? I'm getting more organized with my parts and destination folders, which is why I've started naming them with like F _, you know, part of the model. It just makes things easier. So much easier. So all of these are gonna kind of go in here. And what we're actually going to do is we're gonna hide the inverted masks there. We're gonna come up here, we're gonna turn on the ruler. We're gonna call this upper lip mask. I am hiccuping and I do not like. So here's what we're gonna do. This is how this works, okay, chat? I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna see how thick that is. Okay, that's about right. Hello! Good morning, Einar. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for the resubby. I appreciate you. I really do. Like, seriously. Also, I hope you had fun yesterday. I was kind of lurking in the chaos table. Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for the resubby. I appreciate it. Also, y'all, Einar is another cool duck. I'm not a literal duck, but another cool person. So you should definitely go check them out. They sometimes will play stuff on like TTRPG on the chaos table with other peeps too. I feel like that should be a little bit sharper. Go down here. Sorry, Shenanigans. Yeah, always. Honestly. I know I'm always like quiet and lurking, but that's just how I have to do things because I'm always busy with things. Oh my gosh. So this might be a little bit on the inappropriate side, but I was having a conversation with someone yesterday about just the nature of VTuber designs. And the person in question could not believe that around like a D to double D cup was pretty standard for like female presenting VTubers. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty normal. Pretty normal. They are not familiar at all with the VTuber space, so I was trying to explain some things to them, like, yeah, no, that's pretty normal. You think that that's bad, You have not seen anything. But yeah. Yeah, very much the norm. I mean, on my model, it's a little bit hard to tell the exact, like, cup size proportion because, you know, I'm a chibi duck. But they're roughly, like, D to, you know, double D-ish. They're not, like, super bouncy or wiggly or anything because, you know, the jacket does, like, restrain them. But they are there. They're not being hidden. Yeah, that does happen. That does happen, Zyrite. Yeah, so see what we're doing here is we're making this mask, because this is gonna hide, like, the top of the mouth as it moves. And then the bottom one's gonna have its own, masking layer, so that when the bottom lip comes up, it hides the inner part. So now we can kinda... Boop. Whoopsie. Okay. There we go. We just expand this a bit. Yeah, I had a lot of interesting conversations yesterday. Particularly about VTuber cup size. It was very weird to talk about. Try leaning over the keyboard, next thing you know, you typed enough space that you used up all your space in your reply block. Yeah. I actually have that issue, but less with, you know, the breasticles getting in the way and more just, you know, disorganization of my desk. Because, like, I'm looking down now and I'm like, I have my mic just inches above my tablet, and then my keyboard is behind the tablet, and then I have the original Razer Kyo box for my webcam between my monitors. And the webcam itself is perched atop the box. Yeah, I think I occasionally have to have, like, a mandatory discussion about, you know, things like booba on stream and stuff, just because, not because I like talking about booba, but because I'm sure y'all have heard about the new AI updates. I do not want to get flagged. I do not want to get flagged as a child. I am not a child. I ducking swear. This is not kids content. I'm not a mature streamer, but I'm not a kid either. I don't know how y'all feel about that stuff, but I am not enjoying the prospect of getting flagged as an actual child. I finished school a long time ago. Yeah, for, like, I may act childish. That's the autism. That's the tism. That is not who I am, though. So what we're doing, by the way, is I'm kind of yammering on about this. We're gonna go ahead and make that a little bit further out. Oh, that is way too ducking big. There we go. So the reason why we're doing, like, a little more extension is because we're actually looking at how this bottom lip line goes. And we want to make sure that the bottom lip line matches the edge of this. At least, like, there should be some overlap, but we want at least that, because when we're actually animating the mouth, we don't want any potential cracks to slip through. So now we're gonna go ahead here. I'm actually going to bring the opacity of that way down so we can still kind of see it. Also, I think, yeah, it's, like, slightly off. It's not, like, a huge deal. I can literally just do one of those. Just turn off the ruler temporarily. This is gonna be bottom lip mask. Oh, we're gonna pick another bright color. How about like a nice bright, warm yellow? Yeah. So now, oh, that is not what I wanted to do. I was trying to grab the scroll bar here. People are planning to move to Vidi as of late, I think. I have no ducking clue, honestly. I have not been able to keep up entirely with all of, like, the shenanigans of people trying to, like, migrate from the Red platform. But, you know, I do think that the AI thing is a little bit dumb. Considering, you know, I'm definitely not a ducking child. I like things that might be perceived as childish, but that's just autism, okay? I am a 31-year-old duck. I am literally like the inverse of the minimum age that you need to be. I have turned into a ducking hag. You know, no. I just hope I don't have to deal with it. So, Musi, for context, basically, on the Red site, YouTube is rolling out this, and we know how good the YouTube AI is. That's sarcasm if you couldn't tell. Basically, we're part of the AARP stream teaming crowd. Yeah, pretty much, Idar. We're hags, we're old. Back in my day, we had Windows 98. But yeah, no. On YouTube, they are doing the thing where they're gonna start looking at your watch history and stuff, starting from the 13th of this month. Using like an AI algorithm to determine whether or not they think that you're 13 or older. And if they think that you're under like 13, then they're gonna start asking you for like your ID, your credit card, or like a video verification. We know totally they're gonna delete that video. We could totally trust, you know, privacy, right? Right? Yeah, no, I'm not a part. I'm not a fan. Really not a fan. I did hear something though about like if you use like VPN to like Algeria or something, you could like bypass it. Yeah, it's really a trust me bro thing. You know, it's like, dude, I understand. Maybe I watch too many Minecraft videos, okay? I don't actually watch that much Minecraft, but I do watch things like Uma Musume right now. And that screams, you know, bright colors. You know? And yeah, when you have platforms that have to, like, hold on to your ID and stuff, you are, like, screaming for hackers to kind of come in and be like, hey, yo, we want to hack your information because, you know, you're totally a secure platform, right? I hope I don't get bunked by any platform talking about this on either side of the spectrum here. Yeah, most people don't really like what's happening. And I can't say I blame them, and I know it's a really weird time for me to go back over to the Red site, considering the changes. But also, you know, I feel like I can't put all my eggs in one basket. Twitch has its own issues. How about let parents parent and leave corpo and government? Exactly, Einar, exactly. Very much. That is definitely a thing I could get down with, you know, let parents actually parent. But you know what it really is it's not actually about child safety. It's more about just control, making sure, you know, they have access to more of your information. That's what it's really about. And anyone who tries to tell you otherwise is lying. Okay, I need to fix this part, because that line is going a little bit over. Yeah, very much so, because if they actually cared about safety, they would actually take care of the real issues that are plaguing the platform, like the ads. Oh, don't get me ducking started about the ads. Do not get me started about... I saw the most heinous ad last night. It was clearly like an AI, like, app, right? In the advertisement. But no, that's not actually the worst part. That's not the worst part. You know what the worst part was? It was... If you remember Ben 10, I believe her name was like Gwen, like the orange hair girl. It was her with a white fluid in her mouth, looking some kind of way. I'm like, why is this okay? Okay, you claim to be caring about, you know, the safety of children, but why is this okay? Why is this okay? Also, that's pretty cool. You caught the Probopass, Musy. Good job. Make it clear it's the parent's responsibility to check. I mean, yeah, but even then, like, you're looking at the problems. Actually, I realize that doesn't even need to actually come out to the side like that, because we're not going to be hiding the upper. We can kind of do one of these. Like, it's just, the ads on this platform are just something else, and I do not agree. We should probably be taking care of those. Exactly, I know. I have not seen a corpo or government honestly care about anything that they've, like, expressed that they care about either. It's honestly just kind of smoke and mirrors at this point. They just want you to think. I am sucking at making this properly. There we go. Yeah, hopefully I don't get bonked for talking about this topic, but it needs to be said. I am not a child. And I don't think that the new stuff being put into place is actually meant to protect children. Just my hot take, you know? My spicy take as a duck. An online internet duck. Now if I move that all the way down, there we go. So it looks like it covers it pretty well. So the result here is nothing should be able to escape the realm of the mouth. Like, it should be feasibly impossible. What does the web come to? It used to be somewhere we can express ourselves with that. For real! Like, honestly, I actually saw a YouTube video yesterday where someone was talking about how they were trying to build what they called the beta net, which was like the internet but separate from the internet. Like, basically internet 2.0, without all of the ridiculous, like, censorship and things like that. I'm sure everything will shitify eventually, but it's good to have hope that maybe things can change and get better. Like, that's just my take here. And with that, I think we're roughly done with all the masks, because you can now see how this is gonna look. Basically, the green masks prevent the eyes from, you know, clipping out of their bounds, and we're gonna basically glue this to itself. Then the lip masks are going to be glued to the lip lines. Yeah, it will get worse before it gets better, as Irite says, but also, I don't like that. I feel like it's been bad for a while, and I feel like we need something just better. Honestly. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this particular stream. I'm gonna do another stream on Wednesday, and we're gonna try the duel again. 2 streams in one, basically. 2 platforms, 1 stream. I'm gonna have to figure out how to fix the chat and stuff in Opus. But we have our masks. Next stream, we're gonna actually import this into Live2D. I actually want to make this into like a little mini series so that people can actually reference it. And use it if they're struggling with inverted masks. Because I notice there's not really a lot of inverted mask tutorial stuff on the YouTubes. And they're kind of really important. You know, that's how you hide things that you don't want seen. So I'm gonna go ahead here, and on the Twitch side, I'm gonna go ahead and raid out. Yeah, we're gonna actually have this as like a downloadable that you can pay a small fee for in order to use for your own streams. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead over on the Twitch side and find someone to raid. On the YouTube side, we do not have that capability, but we will be back on Wednesday morning for like an hour. So yeah. Yeah, all we can do for now is wait and see what happens. Thank y'all for watching over on the YouTube side, and we're gonna go ahead and over here and get the raid going for Twitch. Yeah. Now let me see.